one of the big saving graces of my family coming back into union of the church is that many of my siblings who were on the verge of leaving the faith because of not seeing, one of my sisters was dating a Protestant at the time, and she did not see, she as she looked at the interactions between me and my parents and what was happening in the traditionalist community, she said, how is that any different from the Protestants?
Yeah.
She could see that it was the exact same thing, especially when my parents eventually got to the point for a brief time of believing that nobody had it right, not the Nova Soto Church or any of the traditionalist clergy, and so they were home alone, which is exactly what her Protestant boyfriend was doing with his family, worshiping alone in their family. And she said she was looking at that and saying, how are we any different than the Protestants? So she was on the verge of just becoming the same faith as her boyfriend. And my other siblings who were older were also struggling. I think one of them in particular may not even have been stayed Christian if we had stayed in that kind of an environment. But after coming into the church, and just the church today is just so full of life and openness and beauty and goodness. And there's so many positive and exciting developments that are happening in theology and in the church's approach to the modern world, and discussions about how we can best bring Christ to the modern world. And there's so much, there's life. I mean, there's life to be a part of the family of God, that covenant family of the church. You become a part. That becomes infused into your family life as well, into your domestic church. Yeah. And so my family was immediately drawn together once, even though we still have debates and discussions and disagreements about certain things, but we all accept the authority of the church. We all accept the authority of the magisterium. And because of that, we're unified. And the authority of my parents as well, which was undermined by their rejection of church authority, has grown stronger, because, of course, if they're being faithful to church authority, then they also then can have a claim on their children's obedience, because the children can't point at their parents and say, well, if you can disobey, the Pope, the Holy Father and the church and your authorities, why can't I disobey you? And so authority has been rebuilt and is now supported in our family group in a way that is so much more beneficial to family life. So we do actually have a unity that we did not have or experience before.